How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This one is actually sort of a test video. I want to see if this message is important to people. And first of all, my name's Trey. I'm 20 years old. I earn about $30,000 to $40,000 a month that's direct into my bank account from two businesses that I run and operate. One is a social media marketing agency, and the other is a coaching business where I help people start their own marketing agency. Okay, that's all I do. I work from right here at my computer. I was about to actually record this video on this camera, but for some reason the camera's not working, so I just flipped on the phone. This is my apartment. This is actually where I live. I pay $3,500 a month for this apartment. This is my favorite watch. It's a $10,000 watch. I'm just saying these things so that you get some context. Okay, this is not about bragging. Honestly, I know so many 20-year-olds that make me look like a total punk, okay? And my network's filled with amazing, amazing people who, honestly, if I begin to compare myself to them, I feel like I'm way behind, okay? So this isn't to brag, this is just to give you some context, okay? So how was I able to do this? How was I able to go from, a normal 16, 17-year-old kid, from, middle to upper class, America, to running my own business, not going to college, never finishing high school, going straight into business, and doing as well as I have? What's the secret? What's going on? How did this happen? Well, really, in my eyes, it's one key thing. And really, I've been doing a lot of soul searching recently, and I've been really thinking about really what actually made me succeed. Because obviously, I run this coaching business, and I help people one-on-one a lot. And they all have all kinds of excuses for why their business isn't working. They all have all kinds of reasons. I've heard it I've worked with over 100 people one-on-one. By the way, over 20 of which earn at least 6 figures online, and a handful earn over $20,000 a month online, and one has actually gone ahead to make a whole lot more money than I ever have, which is really incredible. I love that people can go on and succeed beyond me. The others who haven't succeeded, they hit the same excuse, which I'll bring up here in a moment. And it's the same thing, or it's the same broken mindset. So what is this thing? Well, the problem with this phrase is that if you Google it, you're gonna get a lot of hippie crap. But there's this concept of a money mindset, like a money mindset, which I've done extensive research on. One of my favorite books is actually, it's a book written for Christians, and it's a book called The Prayer of Jabez, which it's right here. I have it in my library, Prayer of Jabez. And it talks about a prayer that you can pray in regards to attaining more liquid financial wealth. And that's an incredibly controversial thing for the church. And it's an incredibly controversial thing in general for mankind. The pursuit of wealth, the pursuit of financial gain. This is for most people, they find more virtue in things like, partying and smoking weed and getting good grades and all these sorts of things. Getting good grades, there's nothing wrong with getting good grades. I would say there's something wrong with partying and smoking weed. But that's what most people spend their time doing. They are not attaching their identity to something that moves them forward, right? Not that money should be your identity. But what I'm saying is, the biggest thing that's holding people back is they think that earning money is a bad thing. They think that building wealth is a bad thing. On some subconscious level, they feel unworthy of money. And honestly, that's the biggest problem. People think that there's some sort of a measuring stick going on inside of their brain or inside of their conscious that sort of determines your value, as if it's not the market determining your value. Because there's no way to make money without solving people's problems, okay? That's the most important thing. You're solving problems, or you're bringing value, you get paid for the problems or value you bring. It's that simple. So there's nothing inside of you that determines how much money you make. It's all about how you serve, which of course starts with your perspective on the problems you help people with, so maybe there's some tie in you. But the common denominator among the people that I see fail is they don't view money right. They don't view themselves right, and they don't view money right. And if you can just begin to study these two things, how money works and how you work, and your brain works, you're gonna start to see some crazy success. Beyond what you ever thought. I literally thought I would probably make $2,000 or $3,000 a month max, and I would just coast there. I honestly would have been happy with, well, at least I thought at the time I'd be happy with $2,000 to $3,000 a month and just free time. That's what I thought I wanted. But I realized I was devastatingly wrong. Like, devastatingly wrong. I realized that, like, once I got there, I wanted more, but I thought for the longest time, literally, there was a whole 6 to 8 month period in my entrepreneurial journey where I was capped there. $3,000 a month was the most money I could make for a whole 8 months, until I finally decided that that's not what I deserve. And it's not an ego thing. It's not an arrogance thing. There's no self-righteousness going on here. It's not a, I deserve more. What it really is, it's I can bring more value. I can bring more value to people than $3,000 a month. I know that. I have things in me that people need, and I've developed these things, and these are things that I know will help people, and I should be making at least $10,000 a month, like at least, with the amount of value that I bring. And I asked myself, if I had $1 million, would I pay myself, let's say I was given $1 million, I didn't earn $1 million, I was given $1 million, would I pay myself 10 grand to learn everything that I learned in my head at that point, having earned $3,000 a month for 8 months online? Like, yeah, I 100% would have, because so many people want to do that, right? Is my knowledge worth that much? Is my skill worth that much, right? Is what I could do collaboratively with other people, contractors, team members, for a business owner maybe, is it worth that much? Absolutely. So I started to kind of realize that I was worth a lot more than I sort of thought. And this is like the key thing that keeps people from growing. I'll be honest, almost nothing else matters. Like, almost nothing else. There's some other things that matter, like you need to have like sales skills, you need to like be good with people, and you need to be disciplined and have good daily routines and eat well, sleep well. These are all incredible. I wear this ring which tracks my sleep and actually gives me a score every day, so I know literally like how I slept. And it's phenomenal. It's amazing. It's way more accurate than like a Fitbit too. It's look into it, or a ring. So there's other things that are involved as well. Like you need to be disciplined, motivated, have a good product or a good service, be good at sales, sure. But at the end of the day, all those things happen when you have the right perspective on yourself and the right perspective on money. And when you merge these two things, there's just nothing stopping you. There's literally like nothing stopping you. And that's what I've realized. Like, no tax laws, no education system, no previous poor relationships and people doubting you or pulling you down, no bad daily habits, nothing is stopping you when you fix what's going on up here in regards to how you view yourself and how you view money. There is literally nothing stopping you. So I just wanted to talk about that. Like, you know, the title of this video would be something like, you know, how a 20-year-old kid makes this much money online, like money mindset, or something like that. But truly nothing else matters. Truly nothing else matters. Like, I know it's so hard to accept if you're still at that beginning stage. I know it's such a weird thing to hear. Like, of course other things matter. Of course, like, I have to be, like, if you're an agency owner, most of my following on YouTube is, like, agency owners. And that's most of them. And so most of you are gonna be like, well, I have to be good at Facebook ads. I have to be good at sales, right? I have to be good at, like, all these, I have to be good at, like, yeah, you do, but developing those skills comes easier on the other side of breaking through these issues. Now, it's kind of a catch-22. You kind of have to do both at the same time. You can't really take a break from doing business to work on this stuff. This stuff kind of comes with running your business. But gosh, the best money I spent, honestly, was on like he doesn't even offer coaching. I just went to him, I'm like, hey man, I love how you're running your business. I love how you're doing things. Like, can I get a month with you? Because he had grown so quickly. And I said, I just want you to share with me how you view the world and how you view money. How you view the world, how you view yourself, how you view money. I don't want to have a conversation about the technicalities of my business. I don't want to have a conversation about, you know, like sales. I just want to talk about you, how you view the world, how you view yourself, and how you view money. And I want to kind of adopt a similar view of myself, of the world, and of money, because I know that that will push me forward. He said, a little weird. I get it, a little weird, but let's do it. I paid him a lot of money. Spent a month with the guy, changed my life. This was back when I was doing that like $3 grand a month thing, right? So I paid him a lot of money, especially for $3,000 a month. But of course I was living at home, I didn't have rent, so it's no big deal. So, I don't know, I wanted to make this video because in my eyes, viewing money, viewing yourself properly, will move you forward faster than anything else will. And what do I mean by properly? What is an improper view of yourself and what is a proper view of yourself? Is what you might be asking. What's an improper view of money and what's a proper view of money? So let me start with money. Improper view of money. You've heard the phrase, money is the root of all evil. I'm sure you've heard it. And people even say it comes from the Bible. People say it comes from classic scripture. It really doesn't. There's nothing in classic scripture, nothing in any religion that says anything like that. And especially not Christianity. There's nothing there. There's no merit to that phrase. But it's been so accepted at a core level in our culture by people who are capitalists secretly, which is an interesting thing. So, you have old, white, rich people saying that it's bad to be old, white, and rich. And then you have people who make a bunch of money trying to convince the public that money is evil. So it's a very backwards thing. So, money's not evil. The only people who are propagating that message are people who want to keep you poor. And this is something you have to understand. That money's not evil. So that's an improper view of money, that money's evil, that by making money somehow you are evil. But when you realize that the only way you earn money is by helping somebody else. Then it changes your view of money forever. I was at this conference, and there was a rabbi speaking. And he was a really sharp dude. Like, I was just paying attention to this guy like I'd never paid attention to anybody at a conference before. I'm not even a conference goer. I'm an introvert. I spend time with my immediate family and my girlfriend. And that's like it. I'm not a people person. I just work on my business, hang out with my girlfriend, hang out with my family. That's my whole life. I'm very content, okay? And this guy, he basically said, all right, everybody, I want you to hold up $1 from your wallet. And I want you to tell me how you earned that $1. And somebody raises his hand, he raises like a $1 bill, and he says, you, go ahead. He says, I worked for it. I said, wrong. That's not the answer. He goes to somebody else. How did you earn your $1? He said, well, I have a business and the business made me money. He's like, wrong. That's not the answer either. What's the actual reason you guys have money in your pockets? And finally, after like 10 people, somebody finally got it. And he said, I helped somebody. I brought them value. I served them. And he said, that's exactly it. And then as I was hearing that, I also thought of this story where I heard somebody say, this story, I totally forget where I heard this. It was a long time ago. This was like when I was 14 or 15. I heard this story. And it was this guy who basically got paid 10 grand for like an hour and a half of work. And that's more money than he'd ever seen in his bank account. And he was this guy who was on this online freelance website, just random jobs. So it's like, you could just do random jobs, just make a little extra like money on the side, and he was a fully employed guy. This isn't an entrepreneur, this is a normal guy. And this investor from like Ireland is looking to buy a farm, right? And he posts a job. He says, hey, I'm looking to buy a farm. If somebody could research, 40 to 50 farms, give me some options, I'll pay you handsomely. In his mind, he thought handsomely was like $300, $400. Go find some farms online that are for sale, give them to this investor. He gives him the 40, 50 farms. The investor's like, sweet, thank you so much. Here's 10 grand. And it took him 2 hours to find those farms. So it's not how hard we work. It's not even our work ethic. It has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with how valuable the problem that we're solving is in accordance with the person who we're helping and how much value you bring to them. Because money is the only thing that is detached from somebody that they're willing to give to you, like objects. They're detached from people. We trade. I'm not going to give you my liver to do something for me. I'm going to give you money to do something for me. Because you can also use money. I'm not going to give you this bullhead because you can't probably use that bullhead unless you were to just sell it and make the $200, $300 that you get from selling it, right? So you turn it into money anyway. So why don't I just give you money? Instead of trading objects or parts of myself, I give you money, which is separate from me. So that's how money works. It's you bring value to somebody, they pay you. It has nothing to do with how hard you work, how long you work, your work ethic. Though these are things that are important. You want to have good work ethic because it will increase your odds massively. That's not the thing that makes you money, right? There's a separation there. So that's a wrong view and a right view of money. Now let me talk about a wrong view and a right view of yourself. It's just a really good book here that I recommend everybody read. So I've given 2 recommendations in this video so far. And if you want more, just leave a comment and I'll probably reply to some comments. This book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. This book is insane. This is probably one of my favorite books of all time. And I've actually made my mom read it. I've made my dad read it. I've made a lot of my coaching students who actually work with me one-on-one. It's one of the first things I tell them to do is to read this book. And what this book talks about, and this isn't really a plug for the book, I don't really think that a book is a be-all, end-all source of wisdom. I think a book is written by a person, and a person inherently has wisdom from various arenas and sectors, and that's why I like this book, is because it references other books, so it kind of sends you down this trail of like other things that you can learn, and that's what I like in a book. It's not just like a dead end, right? So that being said, it talks about how there's no such thing as, let me talk about, well, actually, before I talk about psycho-cybernetics in this book and the right view of the self, let me talk about the wrong view of the self. Wrong view of the self. Wrong view, I'm static. I am one set person. I was born into this world with genetic predisposition to be the way that I am, and I am the way that I am because my parents were that way, my grandparents were that way. I'm selfish because my parents are selfish. I'm lazy because my parents are selfish. I'm lazy because my friends are lazy. I am blank. Any I am blank statements are hindering you. Unless they're a positive I am blank statement, but even a positive I am blank statement probably doesn't actually reach the full potential of what you actually are. The acceptance that you are a set way limits you. The acceptance that you are, like I am Trey Cockrum. Trey William James Cockrum, that's my full name. I am that person, and I recognize that. But I am not an adjective. I am not lazy. I am not disciplined. I am not wealthy. I'm not broke. I'm not anything. There is no one set way of being. There is no one set Trey. There is only the becoming self, who you are actually becoming. And when you optimize the way you act and live so that you can create a trajectory to begin to become, that's when you begin to see the needle moved in your life. So a wrong view is I am blank. I'm a negative way. I have genetic predisposition. I've got bad hardwiring. I've got all this crap. You know, the reason I'm addicted to drugs, sex, cigarettes, freaking alcohol, who knows what, is because my parents were that way, and I've got an addictive personality, whatever the frick that means. There's no actual scientific backing to the concept of an addictive personality. An addictive personality is somebody who at some point made the choice to be addicted to something because they tried it and then they kept doing it, okay? So there's free will. So basically, to sum it up, it's the idea of having free will or not having free will. So, and we're going to get into a lot of theological stuff there, so I'm not going to go down that route too far, but psycho-cybernetics talks about the concept of reprogramming yourself. So I definitely recommend the read, because I was not who I wanted to be when I started my business. And it's not you who will achieve your goals, it's who you become somebody. And then that person that you become is capable of achieving the goals that you've set out to achieve. So there's no real ability, there's no way for you to achieve your goals if you haven't already. If you haven't achieved your goals as you are now, the challenge isn't to work harder or to think smarter or to blah, 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 blah. It's to change who you are. Change the beliefs that make you up. Change how you view yourself, and that will push you forward. So I wanted to make this video because that's been my experience. And if there's any one thing that has pushed me forward further than anything else so far, it really, honestly, it's the concepts there. It's not that specific book, but it's the concept that I can kind of become whoever I want to become. And there's nothing really stopping me from doing that other than I am statements. You know, like there should be no more room in your brain for a concept of the self, which sounds super woo-woo, but you are not a set way. You can change that way. You see people who come from statistically poor environments go on to be unreasonably wealthy later in life. There's all kinds of examples of this. You see so many people who come from like drug-ridden, abusive homes who go on to rise up, be healthy, stable human beings with a lot of money, great families. You see the opposite as well. You see people who come from completely safe, nurture. I came from a really healthy home, right? Really healthy home. And a lot of people would say a part of why I'm successful today is because I came from a healthy home, which on paper makes a lot of sense. But then you see the disastrously high amount of kids from my similar upbringing who went on to just be thugs and just stupid people, like with no assets, no potential. So what's the actual common denominator? It's the choices that you make. It's who you choose to be. the becoming, the trajectory that you're on. That's the choice that you get to make every day. And so you get to become who you want to be by acting a certain way, saying certain things about yourself, and then beginning to see the results of how you speak about yourself and how you act come back around and reinforce those actions and what you're saying about yourself. So you sort of create a belief system about who you are, or at least who you're becoming. So really good stuff. Wanted to make this video totally off the rails from like typical agency stuff, but like this is what will move the needle for you. This is what will help you. So hopefully that makes sense. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a comment and really share your thoughts in the comments. Don't take this as like a plea for me to want more comments. Like, I don't care how many comments a video gets. I literally just want to hear your thoughts. Like, so if you could go to the comments and share, that'd be valuable for both of us. I think it'd be good for you to write out what you're thinking, and it'd be good for me to sort of hear what you're thinking. And if you enjoyed the video as well and you want more people to see the video, give it a like. That will help the algorithm, okay? And be sure to share with anybody that you think needs to hear this. Subscribe if you enjoyed. And if you're looking for a place to follow me, go to Instagram. You'll see more like day-to-day of how I actually run my businesses. If you're new, really what I'm doing, team meetings, client meetings, everything like that. It'll all be over there. More information is there too. So thanks once again for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.